Our history begins here. With two men who shared a common vision, the formation of servants.
The Guatemala Bible Seminary has a very interesting background. It was started by missionaries of the old school, the pioneers. Cameron Townsend came into Guatemala right after the turn of the century, worked in Spanish, and then went out and tried to learn Cachiquel. Had a real burden for the Indian peoples of Guatemala. And he and William Robinson had the vision to start something for training of pastors in this area. They had some short-term classes in the year 1921 in Antigua, and then met again in 1923 in Panajachel to talk about forming a formal institution to train Indian pastors around the lake. One afternoon after a meeting, Cameron Townsend and William Robinson went for a swim. And Robinson was an expert swimmer, but we don't know exactly what happened. But he went under the water and started drowning, and Cameron tried to save him. He tried 2 or 3 times to lift him, but Bobby Robinson, as they called him, was quite heavy, and he couldn't get him out. He swam back for help. The time they got back, he was already drowned. A few months later, in March, Cameron and Archer, another missionary, met in Robinson's home in March of 1923 and started the Robinson Bible Institute in honor of Bobby Robinson.
Although Robinson was no longer present, the seed had been planted, and in 1923, Cameron Townsend inaugurated the Robinson Bible Institute, named in honor of the originator of the vision.
We came to the school in June of 1970, and during this time the mission was in the process of changing the status or the name of the Central American Bible Institute in Guatemala City to the Central American Theological Seminary. At that time we were asked to take on the job of institute level training for all of Central America. And thinking this through, we felt that the name Robinson was very, maybe dear to the Guatemalans in this area, but people that had no idea of this outside of the country, we didn't know how that would affect them. So the name was changed to the Guatemala Bible Institute, starting in January of 1971.
In 1971, the Robinson Bible Institute was renamed as the Guatemala Bible Institute.
When we came in 1970, there were only 3 buildings here that were used for our teaching purposes. The men's dorm, the main building where all the classes, chapel, library, everything was held, and then the women's dorm. The first building to be constructed was the dining room, kitchen, and library building, the Robinson Library. After that building, we moved on to build a dorm, men's dorm, in 1975. In 1976, the first floor of the women's dorm was started. And after these 2 buildings were done, especially the first floor of the women's dorm, the old dorms were converted into offices and other rooms that we needed for the school. In 1981, the gym, or multi-purpose building as we call it, was built. One reason was because we had no place to have graduation. At that time, there was a kind of anti-religious feeling in some of the schools where we had borrowed the auditoriums, and they wouldn't let us have them anymore. So we had started having our graduation service in that building. It was built by Baptists from Michigan, the Detroit, Michigan area, and also the Dutch Reformed Church in Holland sent quite a bit of money to finish that building. In 1990, we started the academic building and took 9 years of work by work teams and also a nice donation from a German organization. After finished that, we felt like we needed a chapel. Our chapel had been from here to there. And so the chapel building was announced and construction started and finished within a year's time.